I just saw Lilo and Stitch, and I want to give you my mini movie review about it. My name is Carly Tatiana Panza. You are listening to the Sacred Storytelling Podcast, where I see everything so you don't have to. So I'm going to give you my mini movie review. I'm going to give you the gist in the beginning, whether I liked it, the overall feel of it, if I think you should see it. And then I'm going to let you know about spoilers before I get into spoilers so you can stop listening if you haven't seen it yet. And that's where I'm going to talk specifics. So I'm not going to lie, when I saw the trailer for this, I rolled my eyes really hard. I was not a fan of the Lion King live action version that they made. And we went to see it, and we almost walked out of the Lion King live action, but the only reason we stayed was because it was before we had any sort of AC, and it was really, really hot that summer. But the live action Lion King remake was pretty much like a shot-for-shot exact recreation of the 1995 Lion King, animated Lion King, which that movie is perfection, and there's no need to do another film of it, unless obviously money, which is why they do things, which I get it. But for me, I know the Jungle Book live action got some buzz. I hated the Snow White remake. So I just have for me, the only remake that I saw that Disney has done so far of the live action remakes that I actually thought were really great, was decent, not like super great, was the Aladdin remake. Because my feeling is Aladdin is such perfection. I would rather just go watch Aladdin, but if you're gonna do it, you gotta yes and it. You gotta make some things different about it, because if not, then why am I going to see it? I'm just gonna go watch the original. So, but I had a dear friend, Erin Lagman, who I hope is listening to this review just as I said this, just giving her a shout out, who said she'd seen it 2 times, and there was something in me today that had my heart soften and say, you know what? Also, there was nothing else for me to see. I've seen everything else that's out right now. I'm going to go see it. So I went to see it. It was way better than I thought it was going to be. I love the original Lilo and Stitch. It had a lot of heart. There was definitely some things that they took, directly, some lines, some moments they took directly from the original animated. But I did think that they yes-anded it. I did think that they changed enough to make it a different film. I did see some reviews where people were complaining that there was things that weren't exactly like the animated film. And whenever I see that, I'm just like, okay, people, then just go watch the animated film. Like, come on. Did you think it was going to be exactly the same? Like, I don't want that. Like, if I'm going to go see the live action, Lilo and Stitch, I want it to be different enough to justify that I'm seeing an entirely different movie. But yeah, I definitely got moved. It's definitely a great friends and family film. But, don't expect it to be exactly the same. And don't expect it to like blow you away, to be completely honest. It's like, it's a live action remake of another intellectual property, but it was fun. It was fun to see them recreate these characters in live action. And I think it also really worked because there wasn't a ton of things that needed to be animated other than the beginning and other than, the Stitch character themselves. And, so yeah, that's the gist. It was fun, fluff, family, but, not going to blow you out of the water. Depends on the mood that you're in. But I was definitely in a very sentimental kind of mood. And so take that with you will if you want to go see it now. Now I'm going to get into spoilers, details, spoilers. If you haven't seen it yet and you don't want any specifics ruined for you, then you should stop listening now. So spoilers. One of the things I thought they did really, really well was that the 2 alien characters, I don't remember their names, that are kind of like the villains that are going after the Stitch character. they had them being played by Zach Galifianakis and Billy Magnussen. And I love Zach Galifianakis, and I'm actually obsessed with Billy Magnussen. Like, he's an extraordinary actor. For those of you who are listening to this who have not seen him in other things, like I think it's called Made for Love, which is on Google, which is on HBO, HBO Max, and it's only a couple of seasons, and he so often gets character actor things, and he does kind of get pigeonholed into this kind of like comedic thing, but he's so good. If, my fellow actors out there, you get it. Like, anyway, he's really, really brilliant. It was such a joy seeing him and having him get to do the voice, but then also like be the actual character. And I thought that was actually a really, really smart, on the adaptation standpoint of having them have some sort of device that could make them into humans. And I was like, that's just a win-win. We get to see these like actors that are really cool and don't have to deal with like getting to see a lot of CGI, and then they don't have to spend money on a bunch of CGI. I thought it was great that Tia Carr was in it because she voiced the original Nani, and that little girl was extraordinary. I loved Hannah Waddington getting to do the voice of that counselor woman. Ted Lasso, or for those who originally knew her from Game of Thrones, Shame. And, but yeah, I'm trying to think of any more specifics. If I was going to like be really, really nitpicky, I think they could have made it a little shorter, because I think the original is only like an hour and like 20 minutes or an hour and 30 minutes. And this was an hour and 48 minutes. I didn't find myself bored or like, or anything like that. It's just, there was a couple moments where I'm like, do we need this? Where I felt myself being like, why hasn't it ended yet? And I just think, especially for like a kids and a family movie, I think they could have cut some stuff out and really, really tightened it up to have it be a solid 1.5 hours, solid 90 minutes. But yeah, it's always, for me, I thought it was really great. I just always love getting to see authentic representation of different cultures on film and giving new and young actresses and actors opportunities that they might not normally have gotten. That's probably pretty much going to launch their career if this is something that they want to do. And, probably also a reason that it was a decent adaptation is they got the director, Dean Camp, who did Marcel the Shell, which was such a great film. If anyone's listening to this and hasn't seen that film, go back and listen to my review on that one. Prepare to be moved on that one. It was nominated for an Oscar. It was so good. But anyway, you are listening to the Sacred Storytelling Podcast. If you like this podcast, please share it with friends. Please subscribe. Please leave me a review. That would be so helpful. And catch you next time.